So, welcome everybody to our fantastic call today. I have a success story to share with you, but more than that, it's not just about the success that I'm about to walk through with Colin, it's more about the journey to get there. So, folks, I'd love to introduce you to the absolutely wonderful Colin Andrews Egbert, who is from Valor Self Storage. Now, Colin and I have been working together for about 18 months, Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
about that.
About that
And
time.
he made an announcement last week that I really want to share with you all. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce Colin. And Colin, maybe if you want to start by sharing with everybody a bit about your background and why you got into self-storage as an asset class.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. So, yeah, right out of college, I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, and graduated, had no idea what I wanted to do, had a Spanish degree. I knew I didn't want to be a Spanish teacher, but I always knew I was going to do some type of business. And I kind of realized early in my college days that you don't need to have a business degree in order to do business. And so I was kind of like, what am I going to do? And I started, kind of seeing some of the infomercials and make money with no credit and buy real estate and flip it, no money down, and all these kind of things. And so it kind of caught my eye. And about a year after graduating from the Ohio State University, I decided to get into real estate and on the residential side. So, for me, it was all about how do I get the phone to ring? And so I was the guy going around and beating up "We Buy Houses" signs on telephone poles and, doing whatever we could do to get the phone to ring. And, did residential for a while, did a bunch of short sales back when that was a thing, did a bunch of subject to taking over payments, did some wholesales, lease options, you name it. I really kind of tried to do it and had some success with it. Was one of the definitely the most one of the most active investors in the Columbus area. And then from there, we saw the kind of the growth of social online communities. It was kind of like right when Facebook and MySpace was actually still a thing back in 2007, 2008, when we were kind of seeing like, wow, these social networks are going to be sticking around. Like these are really a thing. And we started seeing all these niche social networks that were focused specifically on some type of whether it was people that like pets or people that were into different hobbies or sports or that kind of thing. And so we're like, you know what, there should be an online community for real estate investors. And so we started a company called realestateinvestor.com, and we ended up having over 100,000 members on it, and we sold everything from a $50 ebook to $50,000 coaching. And we really kind of grew that. I spoke all over the
You got
country.
in there just at the right
Yeah.
time then, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. It was a wild time. That was really when everything was happening with the last big recession, and a lot of
Yeah.
people losing their shirts, but there was a lot of opportunity. And so that's kind of when we got started. And did that for a while. Ended up selling it to an advisor. Took some time to travel, and then realized I was like, you know what, I'm really not interested. I just didn't have the passion for residential real estate anymore. I had a couple opportunities to help buddies increase their sales. And so really kind of focused on helping other companies with their sales and marketing, and did that for a couple of years, and then got into crypto, wrote it up, wrote it down, played the whole, putting all my money, all my eggs in one basket. And it was great when it was going awesome, and it wasn't so great when it started not being so awesome. And so I learned really quickly that, while I believe in blockchain and crypto and the future and the potential of it, it's also not good to put all of your eggs in a basket, especially something that is as volatile and still a very new concept as crypto. And so when I realized that, I said, you know what, I still love crypto, but I want to get back into real estate. I like the idea of spending time working on something now that will affect the Colin 5 years from now or 10 years from now,
Yeah.
and really building assets as opposed to just trying to make a commission or make a sale, or the constant revolving door of having to do sales, and each month you start off at zero. And that's really what I did for the big portion of my life. Was I was really good at sales. People really saw my value in sales. And so I worked for other companies, and I really wanted to have a little bit more autonomy, as well as also kind of being able to guide my own ship, so to say. So started looking at, okay, if I'm going to get back into real estate, what should I get back into? Started looking at everything from triple net lease to assisted senior living facilities to self-storage to apartments, mobile home parks. Really looked at it all. And after about 3-4 months of really like diving in, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I set my focus, my vision on self-storage, and that was pretty much it. And so yeah, so
I love it.
December of I guess it was 2020 is when I really kind of
Yep.
decided and got in touch with you. And as we say, the rest is history.
The rest is history. It's so funny listening to you because I have this feeling in my mind around, and I often have this all the time. It's like, what do I want to be when I grow up? Because part of us, we've all got that inner child, and it's like, am I ever going to grow up? Am I ever going to kind of, find my path? But you certainly found your path on a number of things, and self-storage is one of them. So when you started and you did all of that research into all of those different asset classes and opportunities, which by the way, well done. A lot of people don't bother to really check everything out. Once you said, okay, self-storage is it, what was your strategy going in?
Yeah, so once we really decided that self-storage was kind of what we wanted to focus on, my whole thing is, okay, this is what I want to do. I don't want to focus like back in, the old days of realestatinvestor.com and these other companies, I would spend time on, okay, what's our logo going to be? And let's create a business plan and all these kind of things. And for me, and there's some benefits to that for sure. But for me, it was all about, okay, how fast can I start talking to sellers? How fast can I start talking to the mom
The
and
business
pops, the
owners.
folks
Yep.
that are looking to move on, that don't want to list their facility and wait 6 months for it to sell. They just want to be done with it. And how can I do that? And so that's really what was the main focus. And I said, okay, what are the ways? There's direct mail, there's online, there's text blasting, there's phone calls, like what's going to work best. And that's really kind of what was the main focus was, now that I know what I want to do, how fast can I get the phone to ring? And that's really what the
Yep.
goal was.
Yep. Fantastic. So then you found us, you found Supercharged Offers. I actually can't remember how you found us. Do you know?
Yeah, I do. It was actually through Matt Andrews' website that I was like, hey, I'm looking to get into self-storage. I want to do some marketing. Who do you guys recommend? And I don't know if it was you specifically that mentioned it or somebody else that mentioned your company, but it was through that link. And then we had a
This is what
conversation
I love about the
there.
business that we're all in. It's such a
Yeah,
community, isn't it? It's wonderful.
totally.
So you found us, or we found you, whatever way that happened. And you
Right.
and I remember we had that first phone call. And how did we help you in those early days, Colin? How did Supercharged Offers help you to refine that strategy down?
Yeah, so for sure, what I wanted to do was, because I didn't have the ability to say, okay, I've been doing this for 10 years. I wanted to be able to have some online presence. I wanted to have, if somebody was going to look up my website, that it came across as professional and that, looked like we knew what we were doing. And I saw kind of the examples that you had done for other folks. And so first, the online presence and having the branding and just having a really polished professional look, that was important. And then, you also offering the data as well as also the direct mail, that, really for me, being able to have the 1-2 punch of having both the website being set up as well as also all of the direct mail being handled. And then just, your partner Matt's, genius when it comes to pull and list and such. You guys did a great job, and everything that you guys did, was on point. It was before the deadline that you said that we would have. And, we were off and running within, a very short period of time.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I'm going to go just to that question on that because I do remember that first conversation that we had where you were like, AJ, I'm going to be dealing with business owners. I haven't even done a deal yet in self-storage. So I'm going to need to look really awesome. So what was your first impression when we had that go live, when you were like, look at this branding, look at this content, look at this
Yeah.
website.
Yeah,
What did that
no,
mean to you to have that all look amazing?
sure. Confidence, I mean, at the end of the day, it gave me the ability where like, hey, check out our website, look at, what we're all about. And, when you give folks an option and you're not hiding behind a Gmail account, Colin buys self storage at Gmail or, anything like that, and for granted, there are folks that, maybe like the more casual or laid back or, single entrepreneur. But for me, I really wanted to show a more polished version of and our best, put our best foot forward, so to say. We're going to be spending money on direct mail and these other ways that if people are going to see our website, that they say, hey, look, they can at least, proofread their website and, it doesn't have missing links or images and, that it looks professional. And that's really the kind of the image that we wanted to portray.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think I've all the way through that build for you with that campaign, I kept thinking, let's put ourselves in the shoes of the self-storage owner, because what they're really looking for, as I agree with you, they're not necessarily looking for the big business, but they are looking for someone who is real, credible, professional in their conduct, and can give them the reassurance of, hey, this is how we do business. So hopefully your customers got that great first impression, whether they got to your Facebook page or to your website or they clicked on an ad. We want them to have that really good impression the entire way through, which I think is really valuable. Did any of your customers ever comment on any of that you can recall?
Not as many as specific investors, but definitely, or sellers, but definitely other investors or folks that, if I was wholesaling deals or, putting my stuff out there, I had multiple other investors remark on it. So, which, is just as good too, that when you're in a small industry like self-storage, it's just also good to make sure that other people that are in your network and that you might be working with or partnering with or flipping deals to, that they also, see like, hey, this guy looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So when you started to get these deals under contract, what were some of your biggest learnings early on? Because you'd done other asset classes, you knew kind of what you were doing, that's for sure. What were some of your biggest learnings and lessons early on, Colin?
Sure. So I think a big part of it was with residential, it's a little bit more short of a sales cycle. And so just understanding that, these type of deals, knowing what the questions that you need to ask and understanding like, what their challenges are. People that have self-storage facilities, a lot of times their challenges or what they're going through is different than what somebody that has a residential house is dealing with. And so just really understanding, what is the motivation and what are the challenges that these folks are dealing with, and then how can we position our message and also position how we operate as a business in order to provide them the very best experience possible. And I think just trying to really focus down on exactly what that is like, why would somebody want to work with us as opposed to listing with a broker, and just really understanding that we're not going to be a fit for a lot of sellers, but not trying to be a fit, not trying to be all things to all people, and share with people, hey, if you're okay with waiting 6 months to a year to sell, if you want to put in repair work and you want to get the facility operating at a higher capacity, you'll probably be able to make more money. We're in the business of taking it as is. You don't have to lift another finger. You don't have to replace a door. We will buy it as is in its current condition and help you out. And so once, we were able to really kind of hone in on what it is that we do and how we can really offer value to those sellers that we're talking to, that really helped out.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go on that last point around talking to, because we obviously did an online marketing, we did direct mail marketing, but you also put in a cold call, what I would call a warm call strategy in place, where we utilized everybody who got sent mail, you guys picked up the phone. So tell me a little bit more about that contact, because for me, particularly in your asset class as well, it's about starting a relationship, right? They need to know that you're real, that they can trust you, that there's somebody that's actually going to help them out with whatever those needs are. And if it means that they've got money to spend on fixing up their facility, great, you might not be the right fit, but it all starts with a conversation. So how did you go about working with your team to really start those conversations? What's your customer strategy?
Yeah. as far as just how we interacted with sellers, or help me
Yeah, because you
understand.
had some people that were doing some actual like follow-up phone calls, right?
Follow-up calls. Yeah, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so for us, I mean, the direct mail, by having people call us, that was the highest quality lead, like bar none. Like, so we would get fewer calls, and we get fewer calls with direct mail, but they're a higher quality. And so, yeah, following up with calls, it helped us reach out to those that maybe didn't get a letter. I would say, just because of a lot of, especially in self-storage, because of they're getting so many letters, that there wasn't a lot of times where they're like, oh yeah, I got your letter. Let's talk. So there really wasn't as much of that. It was the main value with the direct mail was getting those incoming calls. That's really
Yeah.
where the value shine from the direct mail. I think if it wasn't such a hot market and they were getting just a random letter or two every couple months or a year, that's one thing. But now, because there is so many letters and postcards that people are
Yeah.
getting, it's a little bit tougher to kind of like separate yourself out from the crowd. But that's why mail, don't just mail one time.
Yeah, correct. So what I love about that is the whole don't expect miracles with the first connection, right? Direct
Sure.
mail does work if you've got the right message to the right person and they read it. You also then doubled up with the warm follow-up phone calls, because you actually, I remember you did a call strategy out to everybody as well. So what I love about what you did, Colin, is you took our advice and said, don't just do one thing and expect that that's going to be it. You're going to have
Sure.
to do a number of different contact points in a number of different ways, because everybody does business differently and they will
Yeah.
do whatever suits them. So I really, really love that. So let's fast forward to today. Tell me, how did your campaign go? Where did you get to? And where are we at now?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started in March of last year. So we are now coming up on like what, 1 year and 3 months
Yep.
from when we actually launched everything. And so within the last, year and 3 months, about less than 18 months, less than a year and a half, we've been able to purchase 4 facilities and have a fifth one in contract. So we have a little bit less than 1,000 self-storage units. We have over 130,000 square feet of storage.
Amazing.
And we're actually just in, you saw it, because the market is so hot. We got in at really good prices. We're like, you know what, let's sell. Let's, take some money off the table. We got some additional projects that we're looking at that we could use the capital for. And so we said, you know what, this is a great time to sell. Market is super hot. We don't know what the future is going to hold. So let's sell it. So yeah, I'm happy to share that within the last, less than a year and a half, we've been able to pick up nearly $9 million worth of real estate. And in fact, we've listed our 5 facilities for 8.8 million and have had a lot of interest in it. We've had just our phones and emails have been blowing up, and so it's really exciting to see that being able to go from zero to nearly $9 million worth of real estate within a year and a half. And the cool thing about it is that my partner and I, we've been able to use less than $20,000 of our own money to put into these deals. And
That's
so,
amazing.
yeah, we've been able to
Talk
really
about
just,
return on investment, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. And I just to even see from where you started to where you are now, I'm so super happy for you, which I can see the hard work you put in though. I can see that you were also, when we said, hey, Colin, let's try this, let's do that, you were like, okay, AJ, I'm in. So you were also super easy to work with when it came to helping you to craft that messaging, that story, the
Sure.
marketing, et cetera, as well, which was really great. So is there any other insights, Colin, that you'd like to share with those out there that might be just inspired by your story, whether it's to do with self-storage or anything when it comes to real estate investing?
Yeah, I think just, people spend way too much time doing what I call analysis paralysis and just analyzing and analyzing. Oh, I should have a logo and I should build this business plan and I should do all this. And it really saps their momentum, right? And it really
Yep.
keeps people from taking action. So, my whole thing is like get the education and then just start talking, spend the money on marketing. And if you have the education and the marketing, some people, just go, I'm just going to go spend the money on marketing. But then once the calls start happening, they don't really know how to analyze or how to be able to put together a deal. So you really need to have those two things. So I would say for anyone that's really looking to get going with it, to really look at where you investing your money. And if it's not on education and marketing, to really look at that and say, why aren't you investing in your education and in your marketing? Because ultimately those are the two things that are going to help you get from
Correct.
where you're at now to where you want to be.
Yeah, and without giving Supercharged offers a shameless plug here, but I will. I think I totally agree with you that getting your education and your marketing underway, otherwise you don't have a business in my mind. But here's
Yeah.
the thing, I see a lot of people that think that they know what marketing really is and that they know how to do marketing and all the stuff that we did for you. But I'm a massive believer of if you're going to invest in a business, go to someone who knows what they're doing with this stuff so that you can focus on the things that matter, having those phone conversations, starting those relationships, getting those
Sure.
leads through and servicing those leads, et cetera, as well. So I think I 100% agree with those two things. And I'd add, go and find an expert to really help you out with some of this stuff so that you're really using your time where you should. Any
Absolutely.
other final insights, Colin?
No, I've been absolutely, very happy with working with you and just seeing your success and just how you guys have been able to grow. A big part of that is because people are talking about what it is that you're doing. So, I was happy to do this interview, and if this can be able to incentivize or to inspire somebody to, hey, you know what, I do need some help with marketing, I do need help with branding, I do need help with this, to say, it's not a weakness to say that you need to ask, that you need help. It's actually a strength to say that you need
I
to have
agree.
help. And a lot of people are not willing to ask for help and thus don't get the help and don't have the success that they want.
Correct. And then they turn around and go, well, this doesn't work. This whole
Yeah.
real estate investing thing doesn't work. It's like, well, it does work if you focus your time and energy on the right things and partner with the right people too. And that doesn't
Yeah.
mean just partnering with, us with your marketing. I love that you had a business partner there and you had people in your network to lean on. It really is about community at the end of the day. So, Colin, if people wanted to find out more about you and what you're up to and things, how can they reach out and get in touch? Or if they want to make an offer on your $9 million worth of self storage.
Yeah, right. Got it. Yeah. Email is Colin, Colin, at Valor, Valor, self-storage.com, which you can check out valorselfstorage.com if you want to take a look at AJ's work. And you can also hit me up on Instagram as well. Colin Andrews is how you can find me on that. And yeah, I'd love to, whatever I can do. A lot of people have helped me in my path. It's people who say, oh, I've done this all by myself, or that if they say that about themselves, or yeah, I figured it all out myself. Like no one figures it out all themselves. Like it's all about, finding giants to stand on their shoulders, and
Yeah,
don't reinvent the wheel. Do find out somebody who's already been at where you're at, and figure out how to work out a deal to understand and learn what it is that they're doing, whether it's a coaching program or whether it's whatever, work out some type of arrangement. But find those folks that have already gone through where you're at, find those folks that have the abundance mentality, and reach out.
love it, Colin. And I love that you've used the analogy of standing on the shoulders of giants because I couldn't agree more. It's a big world out there. Thank you so
That's
much
it.
for your time today. I'm super, super happy about your success. And I'm without sounding condescending, I'm actually super proud of you because I know where you came from and what your goals and your dreams were. And when you posted last week about your news with being able to sell all of these self-storage facilities, I literally jumped up and down in the office here. I was just, go, Colin. So
Yeah, that's
that was
awesome.
really great to see, Colin. So thanks again. And for anybody wanting to reach out to learn more about Supercharged offers, you can go to superchargedoffers.com. You can give my team a call on 888-538-5478 or email me direct, alicia@superchargedoffers.com. Colin, thanks again. You're an absolute
Yeah.
gem. We love you to
All right.
bits and can't wait to see what's next.
Excellent. Appreciate it.